Now, whose job is no easy task in this day and age inside that National Assembly. It's so good to have you, Madam Speaker, and welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Leanne. Before you ask me any question, I want to just add something, because often we give the public the impression that our job begins and ends in the House, which is fine, it's part of the job. But before you come to the House, you have to plan the life of the institution. You have to discuss and agree the program. You've got to actually get into areas of strategic discussion, agreeing what, in fact, the business is going to be strategically within the whole term of 5 years. So there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes before we come to the House.
It's good to know, because I think a lot of people are not aware of the amount of work that goes in behind the scenes, and it's just a matter of you sit there and you have to take control. So before you come in there, you're aware and have put in a lot of work as to the content being discussed in Parliament.
Absolutely, and you actually talk to one another. You discuss. Some issues, of course, have long been discussed at the elections, where you put the manifestos of the various parties before the electorate. So some of that you actually bring from that, exercise of engaging with the people of South Africa about what it is they want brought to become the priorities of the programs we are then going to pursue as we journey through the 5-year term.
All right. You haven't had an easy road. You really haven't. It's been a year of debate, a lot of incidents happening inside this House, and I mean it's not easy. But how are you feeling ahead of today? Are you slightly worried that something might not go according to the plan?
Leanne, actually, it's such a beautiful day for a start. I feel great. I feel that this day has finally come, and the President is going to address our country, and we will yet again see our democracy at work. We're going to see the whole state in the 3 arms, in the 3 spheres, national, provincial, and local, sitting here. We're going to see people coming from the various organs of state and different sectors, business, religious, and a whole range of organizations that we always invite on this beautiful day. And I'm so glad the weather is agreeing with the mood. So, am I anxious? No. I think nothing makes me anxious when I look at the day, when I know the preparations, when I know and I see the President, as we all saw him yesterday, preparing and clearly having applied his mind and ready to come and tell us, to give us the message about the state of the nation.
The National Assembly and there what happens behind those beautiful doors has always been a very sacred institution. It still is a very sacred institution. But, when you look at some of these incidents that we've seen, do you think that Parliament's reputation and stature has been marred at all? Or do you think it still is what we've always believed it to be?
I think it mainly is what we have always and we continue to try and mold, because it's not like we're a finished product. We're not. And indeed, in the 5th Parliament, in the first 6 months, we had ugly moments. We mustn't pretend they were not there, but we must also not overstate them. We must not talk about them like, in fact, nothing happened in the first 6 months of this 5th term, this 5th Parliament. As if all that happened is we met one day and there was disruption, and we met another day and the police came in. Those were unfortunate, regrettable incidents, and I think as responsible, mature adults, hopefully we've all learned from them. We're interacting at our program committee earlier this year, and yesterday we had a lunch with all the opposition parties, and we as adults, as leaders, don't expect that we will go back to things that we all know were regrettable.
Now, I know we spoke earlier that, to the chairperson of the NCOP, Thandi Modise, who is going to be sitting right next to you during this sitting. Is that normal procedure that the two of you actually sit right next to one another during the State of the Nation address and work together?
Remember, any joint sitting is held jointly between the two houses. And therefore, of necessity, you might not just remember because, the incidents of 2014 are the ones that have made South Africans pay more attention, which we are grateful for.
Yes.
We always, in any joint sitting, but in particular in this State of the Nation joint sitting, which is convened by the President, we always preside over it together because both houses, including the National Council of Provinces, are sitting together under one roof.
Yeah. I would imagine that the two of you have had meetings together. You've spoken about your roles today.
Yes.
In a nutshell, what is your role? I mean, what is it that today you are going to ensure?
It's the usual. It's actually not going to be anything different because we share the responsibility of co-chairing this joint sitting. And it's a simple and straightforward one because we only welcome the main speaker, the only speaker of the day, and that is the head of state, to come to the podium and present his message, present his report to our people, and of course not only a report but a message of how we're proceeding forward, how our journey is going to be mapped around particular issues which he will share with us as our Commander-in-Chief. And so we will share the task of chairing the sitting and ensuring that when he finishes, we're able to go and proceed with other activities of the day because remember, we would still be going to dinners. We would be sitting with guests who are otherwise sitting in the gallery. I, for instance, have the president of the Southern African, the SADC Parliamentary Forum, who is the speaker of Tanzania, who's a colleague over the years. Of course, they are going to an election later this year. So she'll be with us, she'll be sitting with the president, and I really welcome that because there are not many women speakers. So the speaker of Tanzania is a very welcome guest, especially because Tanzania is one of those countries that have been with us through the struggle for liberation.
Indeed. Thank you for talking to us. Good luck for today. I hope it goes as smoothly as you anticipate and that South Africans tune in and listen because it's imperative. And I mean, if you have a message for South Africans on this occasion, why do you believe that they should listen, that they should participate during this address?
I think they should listen because it affects all of us, South Africans. And also, it's a way of growing. It's us getting to know better how Parliament and other institutions of democracy relate directly to our lives. The President is talking about us. He's talking about the lives of South Africans. He's giving information that otherwise ordinary people like you and me don't have. So it's a special occasion. We ought all of us to be sitting and waiting to hear.
Thank you for talking to us.
Thanks.
Madam Speaker, Baleka Mbete speaking to us ahead of the State of the Nation address this evening, 7 o'clock. That is the time. It's going to be on your screens and you don't want to miss it. Please do listen to it.